how toxic cultures are driving the Great Resignation, or, as some are calling it, the Great Reshuffling. This video is all about toxic cultures. How they happen, why they happen, how to avoid them, most importantly, and how they're costing the US billions of dollars. Unfortunately, there are a lot of companies out there that have toxic cultures. Or maybe they're not companies overall that have toxic cultures, but they're teams within companies that have toxic cultures, often due to toxic leaders. In this video, we're going to talk about how to avoid those cultures and how to develop a healthy workplace culture. If you've been paying attention, you've seen that quit rates are at an all-time high. People are leaving their jobs if they're not satisfied with the culture in their workplace. And they're moving to other organizations who offer a more promising, healthy culture. So culture is key to keeping your business running and not losing your talent. But the thing is, you cannot pay your way out of this mess anymore. It used to be that we could just raise salaries to attract talent, but it looks like employees are having new, bigger expectations of their employers. Once COVID happened and people started working from home, there was a reflection period that happened. People started asking themselves questions like, what really matters to me? What is important? And how do I spend my time doing things that matter? That led to many employees having bigger expectations of their employers. They expect their employers to foster a healthy work environment, and they're no longer willing to put up with bosses who are toxic. For many, that meant leaving the organization and going somewhere else. For some, it meant leaving the workforce altogether. And then for others, it led to quiet quitting. If you've heard the term quiet quitting, it's all about people who stay in their jobs but are doing the absolute bare minimum that they need to in order to not get fired. They're not engaged, they're not excited about the work that they are doing, and they're not contributing to an intentional culture that drives results. Quiet quitting isn't actually anything new. It's just a new name for an old dynamic, the unengaged worker. We have had unengaged workers in the workforce since the beginning of work. The key here is understanding why are they unengaged and how do we re-engage them. Maybe the answer isn't even engagement. Maybe the answer is fulfillment, creating a culture in which employees feel fulfilled, and so do employers. According to SHRM, toxic cultures cost US businesses $223 billion in the last 5 years. When left unchecked, toxic cultures can fester and grow. Here are some signs that you are working in a toxic culture. You might have employees leaving, high employee turnover, and pay special attention when you have new hires leaving. If you have a large portion of your workforce leaving within the first 6 months, that's a sign that you have a toxic work culture. Another classic sign is low engagement survey scores. If you're asking about engagement and you're hearing feedback from employees that things are not good, they're telling the truth. Another sure sign is confusion on job roles and duties. If people don't know exactly what's expected of them and what is included in their job duties, that can leave them feeling frustrated and useless, the worst feeling at work. That can be a particularly challenging issue in the hybrid workforce, where we're not sitting next to each other and doing work in person. And sometimes you can tell a toxic work culture just from the vibe. Dr. Sumantra Ghoshal talked about the smell of the place. You can sometimes just tell that something is off. And frequently, new hires are the people who can tell the most. It's like the old story of two fish swimming in the ocean, and another fish starts to swim by and says, "The water's fine today." And the two fish look at each other after that fish has left and said, "What's water?" Sometimes when you've been in an organization long enough, you don't even notice what the culture has become. And so new hires are a great gauge to understand what the workplace culture is and how it has evolved with time. Another sign of toxic work culture is silos. So frequently, organizations fail to nurture that cross-organizational collaboration. And when people work in silos, they feel isolated. And that isolation means that we're missing so much opportunities of how we could be better together. And the last sign of a toxic workplace culture is a poor brand reputation. Your brand is an external manifestation of your culture. And your culture is an internal manifestation of your brand. The great organizations have authentic brands and authentic cultures that are aligned and the same. It's just about how it's viewed externally and internally. And so a poor reputation for your brand probably is an indication that there's a poor workplace culture inside the organization. The purpose that I connect with is to unleash the power of culture to inspire businesses and people to reach their full potential. If that mission speaks to you too, then subscribe to this channel to learn more about what is culture and how can you foster an intentional culture that gets results. And I've got a free gift for you at the end of this video, so stay tuned. So what is culture? Culture is experiences that shape our beliefs, that determine the actions that we take, and which get results. That means that we co-create culture. Everyone in the organization is responsible for it at some level because everything is an experience. When I meet someone in the hallway, or when I have a Zoom call with my colleague or my manager, or if I'm on a town hall, or if I just get a text from someone, those are all experiences. Those experiences will lead me to develop beliefs. That's how all of our beliefs get developed. All of the beliefs that we hold are a result of the experiences that we've had, whether in our childhood or with our families. So it's no different in the workplace. The experiences we co-create lead to cultural beliefs. And those beliefs could be positive or could be negative. You might have a belief that you don't matter at this organization and your manager doesn't even want you here. Or you might have a belief that you're a valued member of the team and that people enjoy your contributions and appreciate the work that you do. The experiences you have at work are what determines whether you're in the first box or the second box. And so those beliefs then determine your actions. If I believe that I am not valued and that my manager does not want me to contribute, then I'm more likely to quiet quit. I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna throw my hands up and say, forget it. I'm just gonna do the bare minimum because my help isn't even wanted here. And anyway, this is a toxic culture. So I'd rather spend more time outside of work than in work. But if I believe that I'm valued, I'll lean into work because it makes me feel fulfilled. It makes me feel useful. It makes me feel like I've got something that is contributing to the organization and that I'm helping us accomplish our purpose. That's meaning in work. And that's a highly engaged employee. Even better than engaged, it's a fulfilled employee. That's how beliefs drive actions. And those actions are going to get us a result. Every action gets us a result. They might be good results, or they might be bad results. And culture, intentionally crafted, is one in which we are consciously thinking about the actions we take, which are determined by our beliefs, which are determined by the experiences that we hold. We've done research on culture, and we found that one of the strongest predictors of a healthy workplace culture is clarity of results. When employees know exactly what is expected of them, that alone can improve culture by 44%. And the way that you can help drive that clarity of results is through storytelling. It's through feedback. It's through recognizing each other and the contributions that we're making. Doing so in a way that ties directly to the cultural beliefs we want to foster and the results we're trying to get is the best way to create an intentional, healthy workplace culture where people aren't leaving and they're not quiet quitting. I've got a gift for you. If you're interested in getting some free guides on how to foster a healthy workplace culture and also see more of that research that we've done about what culture is and how to create and improve workplace culture strength, then go to gift.culture.io or click the link in the description below to get your free guide.